Greetings, folks. This is Woody from Obadiah's. How do you firewise a house if you live in the woods? What I'm going to show you here is where I live. This is the National Forest that you're looking at. And there's my home. And you can see how that porch sits down a little bit. The idea is if I ever had a fire come through here, the radiant energy that would come off of this over here would be tremendous. Now if you notice, this is parked out. There's no trees within, say 80 feet or so of my house, except out front and a few shade trees. Other than that, I've thinned them out. If I have a fire coming, those trees are gone. And those trees over there will be gone in a heartbeat. But what I try to do is create a defensible space. And a defensible space is to create a radiant energy barrier. And essentially by removing the fuel load, and what you're looking at here, where the cat is, and parking this out, and then you'll notice the trees, if you look up, there's no ladder fuels. The branches don't go down. And you can see how it's nice and clean, all the underbrush is picked up. Every year I get in here and I'll rake and I'll have burn piles and pick up the branches and just clean it up, keep it parked out. It is National Forest, but you know, it's my little part of this and I like to keep it nice. And the Forest Service was so kind, they came in, they were impressed with what I did. They actually cleaned up all the way back and took out all the fuel load. And I'm very, very thankful and appreciative. You know, that is something the stimulus went to that was actually worthy and good, and I'm all for it. We have to protect our forest, folks, and if you live in the woods like I do, it's your responsibility to protect your home. Now, I'm a firefighter, and if I show up on a fire and your house has trees growing right up against it, it's not defensible. We're not going to lose our lives trying to defend your home because you built it in the middle of the woods. For example, you know, if you were to build your house over there and leave all those trees, you're asking for trouble. You have to create a defensible space for the firefighters that are going to risk their lives to save your property. So what I'm doing here, folks, is I'm actually putting in some trees. And you notice the leaves on these trees. This is a cherry tree. And we see 50 below up here. So the one thing that you do want to do is make sure that you have a tree that can survive where you're going to plant it. You want something that's going to be green in the summer, like this tree here. And what this tree will do, and the trees over here, as you can see they're planted on my property line, is when these trees get a little bit bigger and they start budding and we have green leaves. This is a maple, a silver maple, 29 bucks. And what'll happen is we'll have these green trees that generally won't burn. And they'll be protecting my home from the radiant energy because there'll be a barrier here. So I'm actually I got one row of trees planted, and then I'm going to come back and put in some cherry trees here. And if there's ever a fire over here, the radiant energy down here will be absolutely tremendous. So literally there'll be just a huge, huge amount of energy in here if this was on fire. Now, you know, the way the ladder fuels are gone and everything, it'd have to be a crown fire. We're not going to get a creeping fire on the ground. There's nothing to burn. And that's why I've parked it out. I don't want a fire here. And by taking the ladder fuels, if there is a fire on the ground, it can't climb the tree and get up into that. That tree will go up like a candle. All of these trees in a drought condition, once they get a flame on them, man, they go up like a dead Christmas tree. If you've ever seen a Christmas tree burn, absolutely unbelievable. So, same thing, the whole forest just bursts into flames. Trees explode like dynamite. So, But anyhow, that's my humble abode right there. The idea behind the porch is to try to reflect as much energy as possible off the side of the house so it doesn't combust. The trees that'll be planted along the edge here will provide a barrier. And this barrier will provide a FireWise protection. So this is Woody from Obadiah's on how to FireWise your home. If you live in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, or any place that's got this kind of a forest, even up north in northern Michigan, Minnesota, there's a lot of places that are pine, fir type forests, and they're very combustible. So this is Woody from Obadiah saying, see ya.